a special edition today. So what we're doing is shoot as well with predominantly about basketball, but we never said it was just about basketball. Shooters are everywhere, like in all sports. And we wanted to talk about a documentary that came out roughly probably a couple months to a year ago. It's called Game Changers. So I have my man RJ in the house to give me his thoughts. Some of his thoughts and ideas aren't always with the general public. That's why all the viewers and myself love him. And yeah, let's get down to it. So Game Changers is a documentary. I guess they call it biohacking. They start manipulating the diet, manipulating. I guess what we perceived as normal, like eating meat, like having three meals a day, and so on and so on, right? So the I guess the aim of Game Changers was to think about when you eat meat, the I guess the understanding that all these farms and needed to create graze for cows. So this in turn caused a lot of issues with in terms of the environment, and then eating vegetarian or vegan was a better option. And if we're eating meat, it's basically a bad thing. So RJ, just jump in here when you can. What are your thoughts, your general thoughts, and then we'll get into some specifics about I guess the main points that we were trying to get through.
Well, I heard this about this whole vegan and so-called, well, if you tag that with a hippie diet, you know what I mean? And it was frowned upon. And with us mainstream, we fall for marketing. Believe it or not, we do. Subconsciously, we do. And when I heard people were on hippie diets before and then this vegan stuff, I thought, man, there's something wrong with these people. You know what I mean? Because I thought we're programmed. We are programmed. Yep. I mean, pretty much what we feed, what we watch is we're gonna believe it. But what it comes down to it is to yourself. So for me, like, I'm a dad as well. I need energy. I need to sort of have the energy to sort of catch up with them and to keep up with them. And after a while, like eating normal food, like you got there's nothing wrong with this, everything in moderation. But if you have these, like your meats and stuff, and you constantly eat and you have a food coma after, I just decided, I hate this feeling. It's a shit feeling. It really is. And there's got to be a better way. And then when I started reading more, it actually started with Dr. Sebi, who passed away already. And then when I read this, and I pretty much, it's like a conclusion onto what Dr. Sebi said. But Dr. Sebi, I'm sure, will be another episode. But in terms of the game changes, it pretty much, followed up from what Dr. Sebi's work was, which pretty much that plant-based things, and pretty much just vegetables in general, are pretty much what we're supposed to have. We can believe that proteins and all this, but protein, believe it or not, is actually a Western made-up term. What our body really needs is minerals. I'm no doctor or anything. I just do a lot of reading. I know when I was on it prior to COVID, I felt really good. Like I was full of energy and everything. When I jumped back onto the meat wagon, that's when it changed, and I thought, okay, so now I can see the difference. So I started cooking my own food. I started quinoa. I'm now cooking black beans with veggies. And I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of difference. And, and if you see the food, like if you eat meat, you can store it in the fridge for a week, 2 weeks. You got to think about it. That's not good, man.
Yeah, because it's like dead.
Yeah.
It's not alive, right? So we think about veggies. Yeah, we think about veggies, it's alive. So it goes off. So we're putting something that's alive into our foods. Yeah.
Exactly. How are you supposed to get nutrients from something that's dead? So for me, when I eat veggies, if you put the veggies, I buy my stuff mainly from Aldi. I no longer buy from Woolies anymore. That it goes dead quick. Like when I say dead quick, less than a week, probably 2-3 days. Like it just goes off. For me, that shows that they don't spray any chemicals and stuff, because you see Woolly stuff, they last for a week or even 2 if they're good. And well, good to their sense, not to our sense. But I just thought there's got to be something else to it. And I'm telling you, like, the vegan lifestyle is really the way to go, because it is all the nutrients that your body needs. I mean, if you've seen the documentary, the father is in trouble. and and he changed his diet and everything. I mean, we're all talking about athletes here and an old man, and there's a lot of evidence from what they've told you that has proven to not just recovery but inflammation and everything has pretty much helped their lifestyle. So that alone, along with my findings, I put two and two together and you've got yourself your results. So I totally understand where they're coming from, and I totally get it too. I feel it. I'm a part of it. Believe it or not, I was almost 100 kilos. I'm sure I'm a bit less now, but I'm not there yet. It's a work in progress, but it is what it is, and you cannot, you can't go against it, because I'm a proof of it, because I can feel it. I'm a living proof of it. So, well, I love the documentary. It was really eye opening, and I watched this at 11 o'clock at night too. So I thought I was gonna fall asleep, but I really stay woke, and now I'm really woke. So.
Woke life, #woke. I think before this documentary, I was implementing a vegetarian, vegan life, flexitarian, if I can call it that. So I had, I guess, days and even weeks where I just ate beans as my protein. So it hasn't really. The documentary, when I watched it, it changed my life a little bit, because I was like, okay, cool. It reminded me that there was more options than just meat, right? So like always going out, you always go, okay, cool, protein. I'll just get the meat. Like as a big guy like yourself too. Like I used to work out. I was about 95 kilos at one stage in my life, and then that involved old school, right? Old school programming where you only can get protein from protein shakes from meat. There's man food. It's man food and stuff. So
absolutely, it's marketing. It's marketing.
Yeah, it's marketing, 100%. Because even when you mention marketing, you think about as reference to basketball, right? Michael Jordan shaves his head. I shave my head. Get baggy shorts. And then he releases his shoes, RJ, and you can attest to that, where you buy your shoes because everyone wants to be like Mike, right? There's the marketing that they get us,
Right.
and we allow it to get us, But now that we're older, we're questioning a lot of things, we're questioning the news. That's something that we'll get into in another podcast, And I agree that the documentary, is very pro vegan, because there's a couple of things where it's been sponsored by the vegan companies. So there's also it's good in terms of to let the public know that when they eat this meat, there's so much water that's needed. I'm actually talking about another documentary, but there's all this water that's needed to create that meat from the cow, and the methane and the gases and the crops. So in that aspect of letting people as ourselves program their whole lives to know that there's something else, then if that takes us away from one meat meal for like 1 million people, that's such a weight off the meat industry, right? And then we're increasing different types of protein, because you think about if you go back like 10 years ago and you look at the supermarkets, no section vegan, no section vegetarian. Like you have to go out, like are you
mom
vegetarian?
and dad corner stores, or you have to go
exactly.
to the city.
Exactly, right? It's specialty stores. Like, but now you got Kmart, you got a whole section of fake meat, vegan options. Like it's come very to a point it was mainstream, right? Because and you think about everyone's perspective of it was, if it's just me, I can't get anything done, right? But that's all it takes, one person, right? One leader, and then you have all these documentaries that educate us to say, okay, cool, we can do this. And it's optional now because it's everywhere, because a lot of people are doing it, right? It's a movement. Yeah. It's a movement to put it out there. So I must say I'm not 100% vegan, but I am open to it. I do have meals where there's not meat involved. I want to ask you a question, but was it B12? Like, if you're like close to 100% vegan, how do you get your B12? Do you take supplements and yourself and your family?
Well, to be honest, I don't believe in supplements either.
Okay.
I think it's just very, a very marketable thing to sort of say. I mean, it's with B12. I haven't really dug in myself into that too much. I just pretty much did the lifestyle, but I'll go into individual ones soon, because I do need to read it. But with me, look, the game changer with everything is always food. The medicine is food. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
So and I honestly believe it. So this is big, and you know what? Like I'll repeat what Dr. Sebi said before he passed, is that there's no curable disease on earth that can't be cured. I'll take that leap. It's there, you know what I mean? And we just got to find it. And I know this is going to be bogus to some people, but I've watched all the videos. I've read a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna flow with it because it's true. The problem is because you got to understand we're programmed the way we are, and you know, believe it or not, there's this. I can go to this so deep, but I don't want to go there because this is just for game changers. But in essence, we're just sort of, we're limited. People are limiting our life. Put it like this. I mean, Father Time's undefeated, but at the same time, like myself, you know, I want to play basketball forever.
Same.
But we can't do that. We know we can't do that, but we can prolong it. We can help ourselves with our bones and our muscles, but it comes down to our food. I mean, that's not going to help if we eat steaks all the time and meat. That's not going to help us. You know what I mean? But I reckon if we eat the right foods, and some foods are very hard to access and are very expensive, but you got to understand something. I mean, if you're rich enough to invest in an expensive car, I'm sure you're rich enough to invest in your health. You've only got one body. You can have multiple cars, but you don't have one body. And if you don't invest your money in your body, then what's the point? Because it starts there. You know what I mean? So I honestly think that it all starts with food. I don't care what anyone says, but it's food, because I'm living proof of it. I mean, I'm injured right now. You know, I haven't played in 2 weeks. I'm pissed off, but I'm trying to eat well. I'm trying to cook my own food. I'm getting beans, I'm getting chickpeas, I'm getting lentils, mixing with vegetables. I'm telling you right now, I'm feeling a lot better with it. I just sort of have to, you know, exercise and go along with that, which I started, but it comes down to it, it's all food. You know, doctors as well, they can only help so much. I don't know if you ever noticed, but with doctors, they'll only give you a band-aid solution.
Of course. You think about doctors and you think about the news and anything, the businesses, right? The doctors' businesses, there is doctors that are good, but in terms of like bulk billing doctors, they just want to see numbers, and then you're just adding to the wallet at the end of the day. Like, you know, I saw a doctor. I saw a doctor 3 times in like a week, and every time he saw me, he goes, "Okay, who are you? How can I help you?" Literally, I saw him like a day. Yeah, stat. That's it. Like, yeah. And he even called me, and he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. What's your name?" And I'm like, "Dude, man, you called me." It's funny. It's funny how things are. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they'll only give you band-aid solution, but they can't give you the full solution.
No.
See, so for me, it's like they're part of the system. But really, if you want yourself good, you just got to eat well. You know what I mean? Everything's out there. People just have to read. That's all it is. It's all out there for you. But because we're relying too much on social media and what's out there in the news and everything, we're just programmed to the way we're supposed to be, and that's not right. So
that's right. Like, when we talk about doctors, I'm thinking about, you know, if I went to like a what you call it, a car dealership, and his Toyota, but he knows Toyota is not the best car in that range. He can't as his job tell you to go somewhere else. Go to Kia. Kia is a better deal. They can't. That's the same as a doctor, right? The doctor can't say, "Oh, go and exercise. Don't eat meat." His job is to give you pills, and that's it. Most of doctors, that's what I do.
Absolutely.
Because it funds his industry, right? It funds medication, and then it goes back to his pockets at the end of the day. Yeah?
That's right.
Let's dig a bit deeper into the documentary, right? So the documentary is made about plants. There was one thing. Do you know the strong lifter or the bodybuilder? I think his name is Strong Athlete. I think it's Carrick Perez or Patrick Bourbon. I think that's him. I felt like he was overweight. Like, because when we say vegan, right, you can eat fries, you can eat that's vegan, you know. Like
it is.
I felt like his example, like how big his body was. You know, he's saying he's vegan. I guess vegans comes in all shapes and sizes, but so I felt that he was obese. So him eating the amount of food, I don't know if that was the best example of saying, okay, cool, he's vegan, he's healthy. You know, maybe because it's due to his sport, he had to be a certain weight. But I felt,
right.
Yeah. But I felt like in terms of lifestyle, like, you know, I guess myself and yourself, we're into more lifestyle like normal people are. We're not professional athletes. I felt that Yeah, so the vegan lifestyle definitely. There's studies that say it's good, but I felt that yeah, I'm not sure if he was the best example in terms of
Mm.
living that lifestyle for like in that aspect, right?
Yeah.
So
But with that, like, you know, I know what you're talking about because I've seen that too, and I've make jokes as well. Like I'm thinking you're vegan, okay, and you're this big, but you got to understand too. There's with the documentary, there's multiple facets uh, of athletes. Have you noticed one powerlifter, one runner, one UFC fighter? You even got Arnie in there. So you've got multiple facets of different sports, but it also depends on multiple things. Uh, it's the amount of food that you feed that like that guy's a powerlifter, so he's going to focus on potatoes, sweet potatoes, things like that. The runner's going to focus more on leaves and greens, you know what I mean, and how they cook it. That's the most important thing. It's how you cook it. I'm sure with the powerlifter, he's just going to have chips because that's just going to bulk him. That's going to be fried.
yeah,
A certain, like I'm sure with the runner, right, here's a gun. He's got a tall quadricep, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and he still broke the record. I'm thinking to myself, bro, you're a freak of nature. Like, that's just unbelievable. You still did your race injured and still beat the record. I'm thinking to myself, dude, that I'm not gonna take less off him, but it's the food that he intakes. It has to be. So that guy who's a powerlifter, for sure, focus on potatoes and chips, and that's fine. Like, I already saw that, and I thought, oh, this guy's on potatoes. Like, has to be in like bulking and sort of building your bones, sort of stuff. Yeah, and then the UFC fighter, like the one that's injured, he's trying to like doc the whole thing. Man, he discovered a lot of things too. So for me, that really I opened my eyes in so many ways, and I'm thinking, wow, like people have understood. And he said to himself, he's so pissed off because why do we only know about this now? And Arnie said it best: it's marketing and it's not reality. So, we're marketed, we're programmed to eat the way we're supposed to be programmed, because I'm trying to not go beyond the subject, but we're programmed to only live 80, 70 years, put it that way. And then after that, then God knows when, you know what I mean? So
yep,
in essence, look, it's all up to you, you know what I mean? Like for me, I've reached my point of desperation where I thought, I got to do something about this. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like, a food coma feeling. I hate that. I'm rusty. I want to play sports and stuff, but I gotta catch up to my kids, and I can't do that with the way I'm going. I gotta change my diet, and I've started doing that. You know what I mean? So,
yep, it's good, man. So, I'm reading this article on KellyJonesNutrition.com. I'll basically leave the links all down below. She lists cons and codes. I think we went through a couple of the pros already. Let's get through some of the cons, I guess. One of the cons she's mentioning is the experts in vegan athletes, right? Do you know the main narrator, the UFC fighter? Like he pretty much just Googled and he found all this information out, right? So it wasn't any, like he didn't involve any specialists, like as maybe this is part of the marketing. But this is one of the things that she noted down, right? There was no sports dietitians, no sport nutritionists, researchers were included. So I think he found what he wanted, as in a negative and a positive in terms of eating meat, and then he just put it in the documentary. He didn't, I think, I'm not sure if that was on purpose, but I guess this was one of the cons that brought up. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, could he be more, I guess more of a medium? Like he was really, I guess he's trying to sell a movie, right? And so it's Netflix. Congratulations to him. But he was just one way or another, meat versus vegan. Like he didn't find anything in between and stuff. I guess he stayed on point. So I can see it as a con. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, put it like this: he's pretty much like us as everyday guys, except he's UFC fighter. We're not UFC fighters, and he's on a platform selling what he believes in. And you know what? Good for him, because you know what? I totally believe it, because he experimented on his own, and his exhibit A is himself, and so is me. So me, and you know what? I felt the difference. He felt the difference. That's all you need. I mean, sometimes if we get too difficult about science and we have to believe these doctors, and sometimes, believe it or not, they get paid to just say that. But if you think about it, if we go out there and we do our own research and feed our bodies these certain things, we can determine whether that's going to be filled with for us or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
true.
I found my answers. He found his answers. They go hand in hand. So for me, I know he's not giving me BS, because I totally believe what he said. I've tried it. I'm good. You know what I mean? Sometimes science is just overrated. You know, let's just let this doctor tell us, dietitians tell us. I mean, they get paid to tell you that. But
That's true. Yeah, because you think about this website that I'm looking at, it's a nutrition website. So of course she's gonna say that's a bad thing. Definitely. Another thing I wanted to mention was, the baseball players when they were eating their burritos.
Yeah.
They're eating their burritos. I felt that they gave them like a plant-based burrito, and then they gave them the worst meat burrito. You can think about, like, when you order a takeaway burrito in the shop, it's gonna be worse, right? Because someone's making it, doesn't care. But if you made it at home with prime meat, then it wouldn't be so it's so dramatically different.
There's got to be dramatics in it, 100%.
That's why I guess that's why there's marketing behind it. Like we were talking about now, there's marketing behind this to the stance that this whole documentary is about is pro-vegan. Meat's bad, pro-vegan, 100%. Yeah,
like there's always a take on it. There's always some exaggeration, but again, like, it's up to you. Like, you can have your own burrito, but for a fact, if you make your own burrito, and if you have your own plants at home, which I encourage if people can do, if you can taste the difference, oh my gosh, man, it is so different. If you eat your veggies from a mum and dad corner store versus a Woolies, man, there is such a massive difference. Like, I'm telling you right now, it's just, your eyes just open. You go, wow, what is all this? Like, this is the flavor.
The flavors, and the strawberries,
because
definitely.
It's been killed off by the sprays, by the chemical sprays, and I know what you mean. Like, when they came back with a sample, with all these with the results, 100%. Like, they know it. They just don't want to say it too much. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
What can you do?
Yep. Cool. And I guess overall, I think I touched on them before. I like the environmental effects of excess animal products. It really puts down. So I've seen a couple of documentaries, and it just reinforces the amount of water and space, and what we're doing to the planet. We keep eating meat. So for me, I guess overall, I like the documentary. I really enjoyed it when I watched it. But what I take away from it is you don't have to be 100% plant-based, but you just have to be wary of what you eat and what you put inside your body. Because if you're going to the farm and like you're literally getting things, or you're hunting, like Joe Rogan does, again that fresh meat, or that fresh whatever you're eating. Because there's also bad plants, right? Like you said, like in supermarkets when they're not that good. I mean, so it goes both ways. But I think with all these documentaries, it's teaching us like to stay away from the marketing, to stay away from the Macca's commercial. You know what I mean? The KFC commercial.
Do your own reading. Do your own research.
Exactly. And then as we learn, like when we see that commercial now, we know that that's marketing. Like they just want to sell their product to make money. It's not good for us. It's not good for us. Like all these junk foods are good for us. But and I guess it comes with age, and hopefully these documentaries will keep on coming out, and then we can teach the younger generation to start caring about their bodies earlier. So they won't be in a situation where they're injured all the time. They won't be in that situation. Yeah. So
like for us, like like I don't know about you, but I had a trigger point where I'm like, what, I got to do something about it. Like to transition over is a very difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. But the thing is, like, you gotta understand, it's okay to stumble. It's a journey, it's a process, and you can do it. You know what I mean? Eventually, you'll get there, but you just gotta take your time and go on about it. You just gotta be very aware of what you're doing. I mean, you're gonna stumble. You may go for 1 week straight with going really good, and then stumble. That's fine, as long as you're making that progress. That's the most important thing. But that's what I'm aiming to do now, because I'm up to the point of desperation, because I'm thinking, you know what, I still want to play basketball at a really decent level, and I can only maintain that by eating proper food. Like if I'm heavy, I cannot do that. Like I'm sure my body will break down. So I need to feed it the right ingredients and nutrition that's proper. And the key word here is minerals. We need the proper minerals for the body. That's why the veggies are good, because it picks up all the minerals from the earth and it eats it up, and then we get it. So meat doesn't have that. it's all crap from what the cows eat and stuff like that. So that's
Yep.
what we're going to focus on. So I encourage everyone to do it because it really will change your life. You know what I mean? And like I said at the beginning, I used to be one of those guys like, these vegan guys, man, they're smoking something weird. But I'm telling you right now, man, they're not smoking something weird. They're the truth. Because they know. They know. You know what I mean? So, but I encourage it because it really has changed my life. I've been cooking my own food now. Like my whole family still eats normal. I want them to change, but it takes time.
It's habit. It takes time. Yeah, they have to see you keep on consistently, and then see your changes, and then slowly they can fall into the lifestyle that you're living.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's another takeaway. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he had a nutritionist on his channel, just talking about peanut butter sandwiches versus steak. Peanut butter, yeah. So they went off about it. They're just saying steak and the peanut butter gives the same amount of protein. I just wanted to ask you, after you watched the documentary, have you eaten more peanut butter sandwiches or just peanut butter in general?
I'm not gonna lie to you too either. I love peanut butter sandwiches, you know what I mean? But I really have it. Like very rare now that I have it. If I'm hungry, I'm really gonna opt for nuts and just even my water at home. Believe it or not, I've changed my water at home. It's all alkaline water. I bought the filters for it. I drink alkaline water, nothing else. So, but to your question, not recently. I haven't eaten peanut butter sandwich. I've had a steak probably I think a week ago, and trust me, again I had that feeling, which I really don't like. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I'm getting to that point where I'm really going to take a 180 flip and just go, you know what? I'm just going to stop it. Yep. So I've gone to Aldi. I bought a lot of black beans, a lot of lentils, a lot of chickpeas. I bought some hummus. I'm telling you, I'm getting there, but it's going to take time. And eventually, I'll be lean to my degree, to my potential. But again, like I said, it's going to take time. But that's fine. Like, as long as I get there, that's the most important.
That's cool. So I guess your takeaway for the whole thing, and just to sum up, I guess what the documentary meant for you. Final thoughts on that.
I just, I'm so happy that I came across this documentary because, like I said, it changed my outlook on life. Like, as a dad, it changes your life as well. You want to be there for your kids when they have kids, so that's my goal, and I want to be there. I want to witness it. So, for me, anything to prolong my life, especially with what I intake, because that's the most important thing. If you think about it, then I'm gonna do it. So that's my motivation. And when I saw this, I thought, wow, it really does give you a flip side on everything, and it really does give you the truth. So, I don't get fooled because Arnie was on there, but if someone that big encourages that too, it sort of adds on to what you already know. And so I'm like, well, I'll follow through even further. So that's, I can't say enough about this documentary. You guys got to watch it if you haven't watched it. It's free on YouTube. If you don't have Netflix, it's on Netflix, but it's on YouTube for free. So I encourage you to watch it. It's called The Game Changers. So cool. See how you go, guys.
Yeah. I guess my takeaway is very excessive towards the vegan, but like we discussed, it allows you to have different options, right? It had to go that way for it to get the publicity that it needed to get. So for me, it hasn't really changed it because I kind of did it like the last couple of years, on and off. So I'm probably like a part-time vegetarian or vegan here and there. Another episode I want to talk to you about intermittent fasting, because that's what I do. I've been doing that for over probably like 8 years now. So yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that probably next episode. So, guys, if you like this content, liked our content, this is on top of what we normally talk about basketball. We talk about branching out to talk about other things. So, we have a lot to say. So, if you enjoy us talking and want to get involved, comment down below. Yeah, we'll get you on the channel. Yeah, we basically want to create a movement. Shoot as well. Just great discussion. That's what we're here for. So, man. So, without ado, thanks guys for listening. If you stayed this long,
thanks guys.
We'll see you in the next one.
Have a good night.